is that you need to be able to actually still keep yourself moving at this crisis. We had a very interesting conversation to a good friend of ours over in Italy only yesterday, actually, and they're in complete lockdown there, which means that they're not even allowed to go out on the streets. Also means that if they want to go out, they've got to have a permit to go out. For example, taking the dog for the walk, you've got to have a special permit to be able to do that. But Italy are on complete lockdown, so there's no one that's allowed to go outside in Italy. Also, I believe in Spain as well. So everyone's on a curfew there. So as a fitness enthusiast, what do you do? What are some of the solutions that you can do to keep yourself, in that mindset of keeping yourself fit and healthy? And this is the way that we're trying to actually portray things is doing your own home workouts is necessity right now. And it does take a strong character and a certain individual to be able to actually do that workout at home. Unless you're self-disciplined yourself, unless you're able to actually, find the motivation and dig deep to know that this is going to be a long-term benefit for you at the end of the day. I don't know if, the normal consumer that's out there, they can actually do that. But do they realize that it's necessity, that it's important for us to keep ourselves moving? Absolutely, 100%. So this is what we're doing right now at the moment. So love to hear some other ideas in terms of what people are doing out there, of course. So, yeah.
I think I second to that, Nathan. By the way, this is Gilbert, so I'm jumping in. It's great to see that, like what you said, you're not sure, we're not certain what everybody's doing. I guess it's a case-to-case basis, but the fact that you said that, I think fitness right now is becoming the fortitude of everybody since everyone's confined. Now everybody's reaching out to everyone, like i.e. especially us as fitness professionals. Our business is greatly affected. We can't interact with people on a one-on-one or a personal level. But I guess the beautiful thing about this, the way I see it, is like we couldn't be in a better generation to live in. We've got the resources and the technology that we can simply do videos and make home exercises more affordable or available for our consumers out there, or even if you want to give it for free, because I think this is the time now that all fitness professionals, regardless of discipline you're teaching, i.e. boxing, CrossFit, martial arts or yoga, we can actually come together now and put things together for our clients, friends, family, and our consumers. Like, for example, my clients now are more cautious and conscious about their health. I think this is it. This time of need now, it plays a key role that what we've invested over the years and weeks and days that, we're putting on a lot of effort on putting exercise programs together, nutrition plans together, that people, I think, now are benefiting from that. And it's never too late for everybody if you're just starting now and making you realize that, I'm confined to my house, I can't do anything. Yes, you actually can. This is the time where we can reach people that we can do just the body weight exercise. Doesn't have to be with equipments, but making sure we keep everybody motivated. It's, I think, reaching out and asking people is a key here, because everybody feels isolated. Everybody feels that they're alone, and sometimes they just don't want to admit it to themselves. So even I myself, although I'm an advocate of health and fitness, there are times and days that it really, really worries me. There are times and days that it really makes me nervous. But at the end of the day, we've got people around us, we've got fellow professionals, we've got friends and clients that we can reach out to or ask for help or assistance, or just merely have a discussion. What are you doing, just to keep everything upbeat?
Yeah, 100%. I wholeheartedly agree with what you just did then, Gilbert, because as technology rolls out, as we can actually download, different apps or view a lot of this through YouTube channels, the accessibility of actually getting online platforms that we can get access to when it comes to exercise and movement. One of the key things is anyone can move, but it's at the intensity that people need to move at. So, there's a difference between actually moving and there's a difference between how to actually stress your body out. So if you're looking at caloric expenditure and burning calories, one of the key things is being able to stretch the body out. So You know, I believe that the guy recently he did a marathon on his balcony. You know, and he ran up and down his balcony, which is 4 to 5 meters in length.
Yeah.
And he did an actual marathon on his balcony. So if he got the determination, I mean, that's a bit OTT for myself. I don't know if I could run up and down a balcony for the length of time that he did, but he completed an entire marathon. So, you know, today you have to really think about, you know, digging deep and really trying to find what's going to actually be of benefit for you.
Yeah.
Not only as a fitness enthusiast, but also as you know, for us being in this isolation, being in a confined space. And most importantly, that we need to find the right exercise that fits us. We need to find the right solution when it comes to nutrition as well, because as you know, when you're home confined, that generally the calories are going to be stacked on. I mean, people are going to eat more, of course, or they're going to sit more, of course.
Yeah,
they're going to watch more TV, of course. So,
yeah, I guess there's a struggle in that too, because people now are like, oh, I've got more time in my hands now, or they can just bum around and just watch Netflix or countless amount of movies and YouTubes, and then they just end up ordering fast food. So what are your thoughts on this one? How can we help the majority to, you know, have that awareness and mindfulness, not don't delve into that? I mean, it's easier said than done, but again, sometimes when demotivation or depression sets in, even if it's just a day, sometimes it could lead to downward spiral, you know, especially when people are worried about their jobs, people are worried about their finances, you know.
Oh, this is a catastrophe. It's a domino effect when you think about not only we're trying to keep ourselves in peak physical condition, or we're trying to keep ourselves, you know, in a position where we can stay fit and healthy throughout this hardship time. You know, in saying that as well as that, you've just got to be able to actually think that this is hopefully going to wash over in the next, you know, the next couple of weeks or so. But you've also got to take the understanding that even from a nutrition point of view, is that here's a time now we can actually start preparing your own meals at home.
Absolutely.
And takeaways and calling in, you know, food from restaurants abroad, from restaurants outside. That's an easy way to do things, but maybe it is time for people to actually really start looking after their nutrition by cooking their own food at home. And, you know, I think this is a self-learning for everyone. Not only myself, but everyone that's out there, is that, you know, there's some good take-home things that you can do for yourself, for your family. You know, and being able to actually make the best of the worst situation.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Yeah, I guess, like for me as well. I mean, it's a self-reflection, like what you just mentioned, that this is the time now to like really do a self-check, calibrate what really is essential to your life at the moment. Like you mentioned earlier, that we got a lot of time in our hands now, and people can just like easily go into convenience. And what I suggest and advise to my friends and my clients, like, look, you've got a lot of time now. You don't have to travel a lot. You don't have to go to the office. Literally sit down, make that honest effort, really make that honest effort to make a list of what really is essential. Like when you go to the grocery for a quick one, like, you know, when you pick up a pack of chips, you got to think twice. You got to make sure that you ask yourself, do you really need these? I don't think right now you don't need it, because your activity level is low. You know, your body is going through a lot of stress. So the last thing that we want is putting more stress to the body with the way we eat food, or what kind of food we're putting in to our system. So it's got to be really high nutrients. It's got to be dominant with a lot of antioxidants like fruits and vegetables. And it is the best time really to make a plan and recalibrate your nutrition, your activity level. Like I make an honest effort. Like as soon as I get up, I make sure, even if it's just a quick 5-minute mobility and stretch, and I encourage my clients to do that. I literally send them video routines, because they don't have to worry about going to work, so they can just stay in bed and watch TV the whole day. But like what we mentioned, we are in a position, we are, we have that responsibility to share what we know and what we have, not only to our participants and clients, but to our loved ones and friends and everybody who we can reach out through technology. But I think that's the beauty about what's going on right now. Instead of like, yes, there are a lot of negativity going on now. We're seeing a lot of incidents still going on.
100%, brother. But the other thing too is that we've been fortunate enough to be in this industry for a very, very long time, including yourself as well.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
All the years of what we've been doing as coaches, as professionals, as leaders, as educators in the fitness and health industry. I mean, what you're starting to see now is you're starting to see members starting to post their own videos.
Yeah.
And members are starting to post their own videos to actually send them out to their own families, that are in need of cry, that are in need of help as well. So, and I think that's been a testament to all of us as fitness professionals around here in the UAE and across the globe.
Yeah,
is that because we've been so, we've been at best practice when it comes to being educators, is that we didn't know that this was going to be, that this was going to take place, this pandemic was going to take place. And now that we've been doing this for so long, members are actually starting to follow our suit. They're starting to follow what we're doing, which I believe is a great thing for us. So, and not only are we trying to actually get out there and actually try and show our workouts of the day, or what things are going to be beneficial from an educational point of view for people out there, that so other members, they're doing the same as well. So I salute everyone out there that's trying to actually constantly keep themselves moving, trying to actually be aware of the benefits of eating good nutrition, the benefits of being able to exercise or even move their bodies. Whether you're walking up a flight of stairs down in your apartment block, or whether you're sitting down for shorter periods of time, whether you're actually playing games with your kids at home.
Yeah.
I saw a great post yesterday from a client of mine who's now been back in the UK, and she's actually doing circuit training with her kids at home, which they totally love. So, it's a good thing that people are starting to actually do things like this now. So,
I noticed that as well. In social media, it's flooded by creativity now. People doing dips on their bathroom sink or their toilet, seriously, or doing wall squats and like literally improvising. They're using, I mean, some people would always criticize and still, critique on what other people are doing. But at the end of the day, again, we want to see what positive things that a lot of people are putting out there. They still choose to be upbeat. They choose to find good things to do, even if you're confined in the four corners of your house. It's like, a simple push-up, vary the width, the tempo, the speed, change the angle a little bit, and then up you go. And you can trigger as many muscles as you can. I mean, like what you said, with our experience and knowledge in the industry, we can manipulate our own body to do what it can, because at its best,
Yeah. No. Correct, brother. So if we look at some of the workouts that we've been doing, I mean, it'll look very similar like this. It's quite simple, actually. So we're trying to do at least 30 to 45 minutes. It's more focused on the HIIT concept, which is high intensity interval training, of course. But our warm-up is around about 6 to 8 minutes. A lot of the focus is on fascia stretching or fascia dynamic stretching.
Sorry to interrupt, Nathan. Where are you guys posting your home workouts? Where do you think our viewers or our listeners could reach out and see what you guys are doing?
Yeah, we're doing it on our t.o.a Facebook page, which is the tour Facebook page. We're also posting it onto our Instagram as well.
That's great. Yeah.
So it is there. It's readily available for people to watch and see. But the fact that we're incorporating, as I said before, a warm up, which is very simple. It does focus a lot on the fascia system.
Okay.
And if our listeners are out there and they're wanting to know what fascia really is, it's connective tissue. It's very similar to your 3 planes that you can work in, but the fascia is more about As I said, a connective tissue. It wraps around the skeletal and the muscular system in one. But we try to focus a lot on being able to stretch the fascia, because it's one of these kind of systems where if you don't move it, it starts to get very tight. It starts to get blocked. It starts to get restricted. So
because people are getting more bedridden now and chair bound. I think for our viewers to easily understand, my view of a fascia is like when you peel an orange, those little white sticky webs. That's kind of like the fascia that's connected to the skin and to the orange meat itself, isn't it? So we need to detangle that. We need to loosen that up. So it's really true, though. It's now I really appreciate more of the trigger point, like using your foam rollers and stuff just to loosen up, and it really helps the blood flow, and it helps your state of mind. Just a simple movement like that, gives you a little bit of positivity, even if it's just a 5-minute foam rolling.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think it's one of the best kept secrets is the fascia system, because it's one of these things that people hear and they know about, but really it only sort of came to fruition over the last 6 years, actually. So it's been one of those neglected topics.
Sorry, bro. I just want to be more specific. I know it's kind of a little off track here, so just want to kind of go back to more about COVID and how the strategies people can take in place. I mean, these are good things as far as exercise and stuff like that, and home workouts is one of them. What's some other ways to people to? It doesn't mean, well, rather, because the biggest problem people are having at the moment is how to, like, staying active, like following all these home workouts. So that's a great way to do something. Social isolating, social distancing is another good way to do it. For trainers and stuff, there's a bigger problem as far as like financially making money. What are some of the any thoughts from your side of what people could do? Like in Australia, we're going to talk to someone soon in Australia, what they're starting to do. I heard someone talk about simply they're going out and they're taking jobs that help the crisis at the moment, which is about they're doing orchard work, or they're going to packing sheds and helping people pack food that can be sent out to people. So there's food on the supermarket shelves and stuff like that. People that can't PT at the moment are starting to do those kind of things. What are some of the things that you think, in your mind, we could do to?
Let me jump into that. That we live in the UAE. I think we've got so many laborers to address that, wouldn't it? What's your strategy at the moment, Nathan? How are you, if you don't mind us asking? Like for me, I'm still doing personal training in my clients' houses. That's how I'm maintaining cash flow. So I guess in a sense that I'm still very, very lucky that I've got my clients' loyalty and trust that, hey, we can do this together. What about for group trainers that literally have got no income at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a catch-22 for everyone. So, it's not, in fact, it's going to get worse for it to get better. And we're only at the infancy stages right now. So, for example, the biggest commercial fitness clubs that are out there right now, all their staff has basically been laid off. So I believe the leadership managers, so the general managers, the group exercise managers, the fitness managers, they're the only ones that are actually allowed to go onto the premises right now. So, but, a lot of the fitness professionals that are out there are now, some commercial clubs are paying their staff on a, basically just until they find out what the situation is going to be like in the next coming days, I guess. But no one is earning the income that they were earning before, of course. From our point of view as a training provider business is that we still have a couple of training courses that we can offer online. And that's accessible. It's no contract at all from person to person. There's CPD courses that we can offer. But then again, you've got to think about it. It's going to be a cost again. So, people are very, very reserved about how they're spending their money right now. So, they're holding on to money. And although we do have a training provider academic positioning here, is that, do we decrease the costs for the course now? I mean, people still want to study, of course. They still want to get knowledge and empower themselves as they grow through the industry themselves. So we have been getting inquiries in that kind of sense, but everyone is looking for a discount on top of a discount. So In terms of some of the solutions that we're trying to find to keep ourselves or income coming in, we've started an e-commerce business as well. And the e-commerce business basically means is that you can buy products from us, such as some of our tour products that we do have, some of the releases that we have as well. So that's another way that we're looking at producing revenue. But other than that, it's very, very limited. Right now, you're going to have to brainstorm and you're going to have to try to get out and actually just be a bit more creative in your ideas. I mean, this is a better time to actually be flexible and creative with the ideas, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure about going out to stores and being able to help people out there to actually pack shelves. The way that I saw Italy, after speaking to a good friend of mine yesterday, is that they're in complete lockdown. There's no contact at all. So I would think that they're probably going to close those kind of things down here in the UAE very shortly as well. So already I saw on the news as well is that they've made restaurants completely a closed lockdown now. So no restaurants are allowed to actually serve food anymore.
Yeah.
So there's no social gathering there at all.
I don't know how many people have noticed that, but there was announcements this morning about how things were shut down. They're now telling people to stay at home, stay isolated. With all the malls, even flights now are restricted. They including all passenger flights as well, non-essential ones anyway, for people. So they're still like as far as mail and food supplies and stuff coming into the country. That's been announced this morning. Here in the UAE, I mean, it's just kind of following suit from what everyone else did. Guys that are watching, this is the whole idea about this live stream right now, is to brainstorm your ideas, strategies, help each other out to understand what we can do. So if what you are doing, just share it, put it in the comment sections down below, exactly that, because just like Nathan said, that's where you need to be right now, and this is what we want to do right here, is we'll offer you that space to be able to just throw out your idea, because your idea could lead to someone else thinking of, oh, that's good, maybe this can help do it another way as well, and like that, so we can find ways to get through what originally is far more important than fitness. And that's why, to be straight up, I get frustrated at the moment about people worrying about fitness, which is good to be combating the flu 100%.
Why is that frustrating? Why is that frustrating you?
The biggest thing about it is just as financials of people, right? People are struggling financially, and it's fine.
I think that's what's keeping people positive, isn't it? So you got a good feeling about yourself, regardless. I'm not being a emotional or being zen in this one. I know being positive and being fit doesn't pay your bills, but at the end of the day, if you got nothing, what you got left?
Totally, I agree. I totally agree.
Because like for like what we said, even Nathan, I agree with what he said. Like right now is the best time for fitness people to, like, people run to us now for not just for for physical and nutritional support, but it becomes a fortitude now, because ideally, like for me, I take that responsibility that people rely on you now for positivity as well, because you're the one delivering that. When we are training, when we are in classes, we're the one giving that energy. I don't see that any different in times of crisis like these, and all the more that they rely on you. And for me, it's like that there's a return on investment in that. That's what I'm saying. And I encourage people to do that. Don't get disheartened. It's because if it works for me, it will work for you. That's when I started appreciating now that I'm very, very lucky, that I'm very, very fortunate that I got my clients' loyalty because of that attitude, because of that consistency that we try to give them. And it doesn't make it any different in times like these, because all the more that they're going to rely on us.
Exercise and moving the body is in our DNA. If I don't exercise, if I don't move my body, I will go absolutely bonkers.
That's why people get depressed. When you don't move, it like consumes you. The moment that you start moving and jumping around, it creates good blood flow. It makes you more creative. And then you start thinking a lot of things that it's not just going to benefit you, but how it's going to benefit other people as well.
But then there is always the scenario of how can we cascade? How can we actually improve the current situation? Not just from a fitness point of view. One of the things that we've done here in our household is we've started to clean out our wardrobes. When I talk about wardrobes, I mean we've got clothes galore that we haven't used for the last 7 to 8 months, 1 year.
What are you doing? Are you selling it, or are you giving it away?
Big plastic bags full of all these clothes, and but love to give these clothes away to to people in need.
Yeah.
So hold on, is there anybody out there, like people that are watching, because this is what we want to do, guys, is if there is people out there that are in need of clothing,
yeah,
there you go, straight away. So Nathan, if you've got that available, bro,
or food,
yeah, get a hold of Nathan if he needs like that, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's what's frustrating me. It's like, yes, there's a lot of people and they need exercise. Don't get me wrong, that's 100% correct. And it needs to be doing this, and that's great positivity to keep up and stuff like that. I think people are there's some of us that unfortunately are going down the road of just they're worried about their business, which 100% they should be. I think there just needs to be another way to look at what they're doing, because what's that thing where some are just like some people, like there's a big discussion about people doing group fitness training sessions that are actually adding to the spread, right?
Yeah.
100% they're still thinking
That's
about.
why they shut down the beach, because their people are not listening.
Yeah,
we've
totally.
already been told, like as an adult, that okay, do self quarantine, stay at home. But people they shut down the gym, and then people started going to the beaches and going to the parks. It's the same thing. So then the municipality said that, hang on, you guys are not listening. Okay, we're gonna discipline you like a child. We told you to stay home, but you still go to public places. So we're going to shut down the public places as well. So let's not provoke the government that it might shut down the groceries as well. Like even the malls now, they've cut down the timings. You know what's happening? Because I'm from the Philippines. So I was just talking to my parents the other day. They've literally issued IDs now. Our president issued IDs to the citizen. Right? You've got a time frame now of when you're going to go out. So, for example, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., these are the ID numbers that are allowed to go to the groceries. After that, if you get caught with that ID after that time, you're going to get suspended, you're going to get a fine, and the ID is going to get confiscated. And our seniors, 60 above, are not allowed to go out anymore. So good thing my sister is there to do the groceries and buying stuff for my parents. So that's how strict and serious this is now. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. A lot of people underestimate that.
Yeah, I mean, there's another article that was just came out today about the UAE is seriously telling people to stay home, and it's being posted out. It's distinctive. It's very recognizable, but basically it says stay home, otherwise fines will be handed out.
Yeah. I think people underestimate that the sooner we all abide by this protocol, the sooner we can hopefully eradicate the situation, isn't it? And we go back to our normal lives. But the more that we take things for granted, the more that people are not listening, the longer we stay in this one. There's a reason why China's curve is dropping down, because they realize that, okay, self-confinement, staying at home will help reduce the incident. And then now they have, like, Grant was just online with Matt, I think, in China. He's a Group X manager there. Now they started allowing people to go to the gyms, but on a booking basis. So I think it's going to come to that point, like, okay, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., these are the group of people that are allowed to go to the gym. I think they're maximizing 30 people. And then they shut down for an hour to clean and disinfect, and then another group of people for a certain amount of time. So I think that's what, and we're lucky we've got good leadership in the UAE that took that protocol, that okay, we got to do this. It's abrupt, it's harsh, but it's for the benefit for everybody. And I think in terms of safety and finances, it kind of helps us obviously work on our budget. So if you think, like for me right now, like what we've said earlier, the tip is if you've got no other resources of your finances, I think you really got to be frugal or stingy about your spending. Just really buy the essentials. If you're gonna pick up something in the grocery, think 6-10 times, do I really need it? If you don't need it, and then don't get it. Simple as, even if it's just a 2 dirham bag of chips that you don't know you're gonna need that 2 dirham for a bottle of water,
Yeah,
you still there?
Yeah. But the other thing too is that we've now come to realize that with the amount of networking that we've been doing, especially over the last 7 to 8 months, with our business is that, everyone is facing the same issue, the same problems, from Pakistan through to India, through to, Saudi Arabia, from New Zealand to Australia. So, and no one is in a better situation off than anyone else. Everyone is basically facing the same problems. What I really like about the UAE in particular is that, we've had this acceleration learning. So I think the UAE generally knows that it's learned from the other countries that have already been through a situation of lockdown. And they closed their gates pretty fast here. I must admit, the same in New Zealand, they've closed them down fairly fast. So, preventative measures have been taking place. I also read another article that there are some expat Indians that are actually being in lockdown in the airport. They're living in the airport because they can't get out anymore. So, we've got some very, very sad situations, some sad scenarios that have taken place. Some friends of ours tried to get their children back over here to the UAE because of university and because, the universities are obviously closed down now, but they missed getting on the flight to come over to the UAE. There was an automation that took place. If you weren't in the UAE at 12 o'clock on Thursday, then you couldn't get into the country.
100%.
So,
we're going to talk to Catherine soon because that was such an unfortunate situation she got stuck in. So she's trying to work her way through that one at the moment.
I would especially like to say, that there are things that we can still do to keep our sanity. Besides exercising, besides eating good nutrition. But how to help everyone else out there. That's not an easy, straightforward answer. It's a very, very difficult situation because we're all in the same situation. So, we're starting to count our pennies now as to where's our next form of income going to come in, because the bills don't stop.
Totally.
And, when you've got a bank loan, when you've got certain loans that you've got to pay your staff, if you're not working and not able to produce income, then unfortunately for ourselves, we're self-employed. So we don't get the support of commercial clubs or commercial businesses that are out there that are still supporting the employees, by the way. And well done to these guys. So, the UK law has just passed, a law to say that they will be supporting entrepreneurs and small businesses out there. I'm not too sure how much they're going to be giving, but it's a $3 trillion business where this is going to actually collapse businesses, literally collapse them. So
that's been pretty.
We're in a very, very difficult, hard situation right now. This is reality.
Yeah, having you mentioned that, I think there's a little bit of a hope in there though, because I had this discussion with a couple of my clients who are obviously big business operators. I'm not going to mention their name, but I think in the UAE we're fortunate. So I think they started. There's this legislation now that they're going to have deterred or waived rents for like retails and commercial businesses. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a hope in there as well for residentials. So I started reaching out. Grant's already asking what are our other alternatives, either to make money or save money. But I think it wouldn't hurt if you reach out to your landlords or stuff like, if you can have a little bit of agreement. Yeah, a little bit of advice. I mean, it's not much. You're not asking for a free home, but because everybody's affected, right? Everybody's not having, well, not everybody, but there are people that are working from home and they're still, being salaried. But like for people like you and I, or people that have just got laid off because, there's a lot of uncertainty. I think it's just fair. And you're just going to have to be bold and brave to ask, because I did that. And luckily enough, I had a good response. So I think, and I'm suggesting that to fellow fitness professionals as well that are, having that situation. It wouldn't hurt to reach out. You can either say, you can get a yes or a no, but at least try for you to save or at least delay a little bit of a rent in there so you can survive in this time of crisis. And we're going to come out really good, I think. I'm positive about it. We're all going to be all right. I think this is where humanity is being tested,
Totally. Help each other out.
Help each other.
Bro, Nathan, we're going to drop you off there, bro. Thank you very much for your advice and stuff like that. We're going to give Catherine from Reps UAE a call and get her kind of thoughts and stuff on the situation and other things like that. Cool. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much.
Bro, thanks for your thoughts. Appreciate it. Stay strong.
Guys.
You got those clothes. We'll send people in your direction with the old clothing. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Sweet as.
I might have to clean the clothing, though.
Nope, this is gone then. That's Nathan, bro. Thank you for that.
Just like that.
We're going to give Catherine a call from Reps UAE. She's obviously having a lot of chat with people, trainers and stuff that are going through all the situations. So we want to hear these issues. We want you to let us know your issues that you're facing right now, and just tell us, because then hopefully we can share, and someone else that's listening here can maybe has an idea, or maybe they come across the same situation where they're in the same boat, and they've got the solution for you. So yeah, chuck your ideas. If you got ideas, or if you just got issues, just chuck those down here as well, and let's share those, and let's see if we can help find solutions. So let's give Catherine a call. Is she on the line?
Hi, Grant.
Hey, Catherine, how are you?
Hi,
You
Catherine.
Hey, Gilbert.
How'd you know it's me? Do you know my voice very well, do you?
I do.
Everyone knows that voice.
What are you trying to say? Okay.
Catherine, for joining us. You give me a couple quick things on WhatsApp, just some of the things that you've been hearing yesterday, and the thoughts and kind of things that you'd like to hear and see. Just from your point of view, first of all, start with just kind of what are the things you're hearing from trainers or professionals in the area, some of the common issues that are popping up, or maybe the common solutions that are popping up at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great to see that a lot of the trainers have got on to Instagram and they're posting all of their workouts and they're being proactive.
Yeah.
But as I've discussed, I think the concerns now are moving towards, as more and more restrictions are being put in place, the concerns are how do they, cover their costs of rent and food and things like that. So
I think that's everybody's concern right now.
It is absolutely. So it's like, what do we do? So from our perspective, obviously we want to be there for the trainers and being a regulatory body. So we're trying to think of ways in which we could all come together and support one another. And personally, I would really like to see a lot more support from the government. And if they have got some initiatives that they're thinking of introducing, then, we'd like to hear about it, I think. When you hear about governments in other countries offering percentage of salaries to staff, I think that would be a bit reassuring to people here if they felt that the government was going to implement something like that here. So I think that's what we're all waiting for.
Totally. Where do you think with that 2 minute, it would be great? How viable is it at the moment, do you think? I mean,
is there a proposal going on? Because like what you said, in certain countries.
I'm trying to get answers, and I'm speaking to our CEO, obviously being Emirati, and I know that like the Dubai Sports Council are all working from home. So every day, believe me, I'm trying to get answers for everyone, but they're a bit slow in coming, I'll be honest.
Yeah. What about some solutions? That'd be great if that comes along. Hopefully it does, and people can come together and they voice their same opinion as well. Is there other things you're hearing from people at the moment that people are implementing to kind of maybe head in that direction to bring in a little bit extra money? I mean, obviously everybody's doing these home workouts at the moment.
Which is not bringing in money. I think it's just trying to keep everyone's morale and spirit up and showing that, let's stay active. As Nathan was saying, and Gilbert, you were saying as well, it's important that we keep moving.
Yeah.
But then also, Gilbert, I heard you say about going to clients' homes, which has been great. But, by the hour, things are changing, and we could soon maybe lose the ability to go and do that, even with the latest that I've been hearing. So people that have been lucky enough to have that income, that may be taken away from them very soon also. So we have to think of other ways and how we can support the industry to, number one, keep going, but to support the trainers to sustain themselves, to feed themselves, to pay their rent, It's tough times, and we have to be very creative in thinking how are we going to do that.
It really is, yeah.
There was one I was saying earlier before that a couple of trainers have gone into the food, like they had taken on some jobs because that's where where some people are short-staffed, like medical, obviously, and doctors and stuff like that, but people aren't.
Is this here in Dubai?
Have you heard anything like that?
This is a good point, Gilbert. I think each country is very different, and I think Dubai, we don't have these sort of things will not be options for trainers. It's not going to be an opportunity for trainers to go off and do things like that. I know in England, a lot of people, like I think Tesco, some of the stores are hiring like 30,000 more staff to stock shelves and things like that. But again, will that be a possibility here? I don't even see the shelves empty here. I think we're in a very different situation.
Yeah, we've got enough supplies.
We do. I went to the supermarket yesterday and, it was very civilized. All the shelves are stocked very well. I don't think that is going to be a concern here.
Where do you think? How far? Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel yourself at all? I mean, we're all saying that we're going to come out the other end, and I believe so too. We'll come out the other end. It's just kind of
question is when.
Yeah, when we come out the other end, and what in your mind do you think we should be preparing for? Like a 3-week, a 2-week, a 3-month, a 10-month?
Well, I know from speaking to my CEO, he has said to me that if the gyms, for example, they've initially said closed for 2 weeks, but it will definitely be 3. Yeah. And the UAE government are looking at what's happening in other countries. And apparently they say that usually into the 3rd week is when they see the real numbers. And I think that's what they're waiting for. So into the 3rd week, if the numbers really escalate, then I think they'll have to make further restrictions, which I'm already seeing restrictions happening. So I don't know whether they're doing that more as a precautionary measure, which I tend to believe they are. I was in the hospital yesterday, just did some tests, and I asked them, do they have a lot of cases in that particular hospital? And they said, no, they had some suspected cases, but they didn't have anyone in ICU, which I think is a great sign. So I'm hoping with the fact that the UAE has done things, I think, earlier than other countries, maybe, hopefully, this will make a difference. And another positive thing, I think, is the fact I think our population is quite different. We have a much younger population. People, when they get to retirement age, they go back to their countries. I think we have a more active, a healthier population. So I tend to believe that we're not going to see the numbers that you'll probably see in countries like the UK, USA.
I agree.
Totally.
So that's the only thing that keeps me going. And again, reiterating, we must stay positive and we must stay healthy. And exercising is just as important. So restricting people to move, I think, is such a shame because, we're made to move. So
it's awesome. I want to go back to your point because this kind of all relates that, when you talk about government support, what point do you think that government support needs to be here now, or do you think it is at least look at that 3-week window we just kind of mentioned?
I think government could offer even the smallest bit of support just to give us all peace of mind and to make us feel, more positive. Because, of course, we all go through stages of feeling up and then you feel low. I mean, I'm feeling it myself. So if the government would come out, and, for example, let's open up WhatsApp. Let's open up Skype. I would love to talk. I know you spent some grant. My daughter's stuck in England and couldn't get her here in time. And it's heartbreaking to me that I can't even see her on video. And I think just small things like this, if the government would open up, which takes nothing, all the other countries, they take that for granted. We don't even have that pleasure. And I think if they could open that up, I think people would feel just a little bit better, that they get the government helping them in ways.
I'm with you on that one, Catherine, because I'm a father too, so I've got my daughter in New Zealand. So it really brings a lot of light every time. Like I was just FaceTiming her earlier on before we got online, and that for me, it's it's an incentive in itself to see her healthy and happy and safe. She was just here last week. And then her mother, obviously decided last minute they go back to New Zealand because it's better and safer. It's heartbreaking for me, but because of this pandemic, I'd rather think of where she could be better off, Mm-hmm. So, so I do agree with you.
Yeah. And maybe we should get more support from the media, Gulf News, Police Times. Maybe they could, put it out there, let the government see that people need.
I think we're heading there. I think we're heading there. Our government's doing really, really good things and positive things about it. Like, you know, like I mentioned it earlier, I think it's a case to case basis, and then humanity is being tested. But there are people doing the third rents or wave rents now for residents or commercial retail operators. So
yeah, I think everybody that's in a position to help someone else, we all need to.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, do that and help. We need to help one another, basically.
Yeah.
100%.
Not be so selfish, and you know, if someone's in need and you're in a position to help them, then we need to be able to do that.
Exactly. And I think for personal trainers that are struggling, I mean, you know, like what we said and Nathan said, that this is the time now that really you have to be proactive, because at the end of the day, people are going to invest in you. Even if you give your content for free, everybody's going to be hungry for work once we come out of these in a few weeks or months, and people are going to rely on you like, great, this guy has been proactive in a time of crisis.
I agree.
When I get my job, I'm going to hire him as a personal trainer. That's how I see things, you know. It's like an investment right now. You're not going to get any return in any form of business anyway. You gotta give, and you gotta invest. All your knowledge, your experience, just share it out there. At the end of the day, you're getting the mass, you're getting the public's heart that, okay, I'm doing something good about my situation right now, and I'm gonna rely and trust this person.
Yeah.
Captain, what are some of the positive things you're seeing? Like, videos have been a great thing. What are some other positives you've seen yourself? Because you're right, it is about what positive things we can do for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
Sorry, from trainers and stuff like that, what positive things are you seeing come out? Because of every dark cloud is a silver lining, right? So it's are you seeing certain things?
Oh, God, I'd like to think so. But like I said, I think trainers they have been great. Like I said, the way they're posting, being proactive, going to clients' homes. But like I said, my concern is the fact that that's taken away from us.
Yeah, it's just been taken away today, hasn't it? Well, they're saying no.
Exactly.
Necessity.
Yeah. So I know they've been supplementing their income in that way, like you have, Gilbert. But once that is gone, what's going to be left for them?
Exactly.
So it's more a matter of now going into crisis mode, really, and see how can we make the blow a little bit softer with, like I said, support from the government, support from if you're renting rented accommodation, support from your landlord, just people being kinder and, you know, not expecting rent to be paid on time. Gosh, I don't even know, even food.
Yes.
Are we going to get to the point where how are people going to feed themselves?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, Catherine, this is simple things, and we often underestimate it when we are all in our comfort zone. I'll give you an example. This is true story. Like, you know, sometimes it's not just, you know, the currency, but I gave one of the helpers in our building food, you know, because I know it's tough, and I don't think these people are being really paid well, especially now. And then the next morning I woke up, my car is clean. You know, little trade like that. Wow, that really humbles me down.
Yeah.
You know, you can't give them money. Give them a bit of food. Give them a bit of clothing that you don't wear. And God knows, I wasn't expecting anything in return, but that's just the law of attraction, and it really works.
Yeah, I think we just have to stay open-minded and be there for one another. Any ideas, everyone needs to come forward with ideas, and hopefully we'll get through this and things will be brighter on the other side.
I think we will. What are you doing at your end, Catherine? What's keeping you positive and busy and, you know, upbeat, obviously?
Well, I'm just trying to keep my team positive, to be honest. So we've had to make some cutbacks here, obviously, because we've seen a drastic drop in people coming to register with us, which is understandable. So I'm popping into the office, you know, I'm taking unpaid leave as well, and I've got priorities to the top of my other girls here who are probably less fortunate than myself. So I think it's just a matter of keeping that team spirit amongst us and trying to answer any questions that trainers have. So I think if we can all stay positive as a team, as the rep team, then, and, you know, follow that through for our members as well.
Nice, love it. I'm just trying to think of, is there any creative games you've come up with at home, type of entertaining?
Creative games. I started cooking.
You know, so I've heard that a lot too. People starting cooking, you know, which is good too, because good nutrition, you help. Is there anything you're doing?
Do you know what this is a good time for, though? This is actually a good time to crank down and do a bit of study.
Totally.
100%. 100%.
You know, so there's all these online courses, and I'm a firm believer of face-to-face. Of course, there still is a lot you can learn online.
It's the best time to invest in your knowledge.
Yeah. So this is the time to do it.
Oh, geez. What sort of what for you right now? Have you acquired any new skill or knowledge? Having you said that.
Not just yet, but I am thinking like this is the time to do. There's a lot of online things I want to do. Read a couple of really good books.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in nutrition, on the gut.
What are you reading?
Many interesting topics. Oh, I've got quite a few that I haven't got to yet.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, it's I do the same. Like I flood my myself with audio books. Because I live alone, so it's like that's my company at home, and me being mobile the whole time before this pandemic, I'm hardly home. So now it's like me and either James Smith. I don't know if you've heard about James Smith. He's a personal trainer. He's wrote a book, not a diet book. So it's a good read, or it's a good audio to have, especially in times like these. So he's talking about he's not talking about just physical nutrition, but he's talking about mental health. You know, what you said earlier, when you've got nothing left, what you have left inside of you. So I think that's one of the key things that we really need to delve into.
That's right.
Cool. Is there anything else that you like? I mean, just when we talk about the government support, is there anything we could like petitions or just votes on Facebook?
You know, this is what we need to do. To be honest with you, I think this is the next step. I think if someone has a contact, I'm thinking, do we reach out to the media? But yeah, we do need to come together, I think, and voice our opinions. I think it's very important.
I think we should. Speaking of helping each other and reaching out, I think we should. I mean, for me and Grant, this is our own little way of, reaching out to people. We try to contact trainers as well, or other professionals that might be experiencing exactly that. So I think voicing it out, it kind of makes things a little bit more tolerable.
And if anyone has a great idea, I mean, this is a great platform in a way to share that, share their ideas, and
especially if they've got good games. I mean, if they've got some good games or good books to read or something like that.
Jenga or puzzle. Or
we could come up with a heavy Jenga maybe game and a bit of heavy lifting at the same time. I don't know.
Are you at home right now, Catherine, as we speak, or
no,
you're
in
the rep's office?
No, I'm in the office with the girls.
Still working. You
guys keeping at 2 meters distance?
Yeah, we've got enough space between us. We're fine.
Brilliant, excellent. Catherine, if you have any more thoughts, please do send us when you have time, call us back, anything like that. But thank you very much for your time and your feedback and thoughts and suggestions to helping people do what they need to do. Stay safe for the rest of the day, and we will talk to you soon.
We appreciate your support, Catherine. All the best.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Take care.
Guys, girls, if you have any comments, questions, feedback, thoughts, ideas, issues, please share them with us now so we can talk about, let them out. We're actually going to talk to someone from Australia now who's part of the Les Mills community that's basically going through the position where they just went through a few days ago, where places in Australia were actually just shut down. So we're going to get some feedback from her, what the kind of the emotions are, the communication that's coming through, because they've just probably a few steps maybe behind or in front. I'm not too sure. We're about to find out that now. So going to give her a call. Anything other thoughts from yourself, Gilbert?
I was just reading, since we're live and online, just reading clients as well. As we speak, still asking for more alternatives, what we can, it's like for me, we mentioned earlier, it's all about reaching out now.
Hello, Miriam, you there?
Yep. Oh, there you go.
Hi, yes.
Hey, welcome along. Thanks for spending the time and having the time to talk to us.
Thanks, everyone.
So you've just gone. You guys have just gone into shutdown in Australia, yeah?
Yeah. So
what's going to happen?
The Prime Minister announced it last night, and then at midday today, all the clubs closed.
Is that every single, all the large ones, small ones? Is that absolutely everything? Is it?
It's absolutely everything. one of the challenges is there's still a bit of a gray area as to whether people can exercise outside or run outdoor boot camps. But in terms of venues, they're all shut.
What was kind of the first initial reaction from everybody?
Definite panic. I mean, I work with clubs across New South Wales, and we deal with a lot of instructors. So I think everyone's concerned about their livelihoods. And then, of course, the impact on members, because this is a time that they need to prioritize their health. Mm-hmm. And we know that we're a huge part in keeping people healthy and keeping their immune system strong. So I think at the moment, everyone's trying to be creative and find strategies to keep people active.
Was there been of like, I think when people look at the world news and stuff like that, there is the thoughts of, okay, it's probably going to happen to us. So has there been some kind of preparation kind of working towards this, or is it just kind of like, oops, it just happened all of a sudden, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I guess there was definite preparations, and some council facilities were already deciding to close over the last little while. I think if you look at the industry, the thing that dropped the first was things like swim school or children's activities where parents didn't really want them in those additional activities. And so I think we were seeing the signs for a while, and obviously seeing what happens in other countries, but there was still hope that because Australia kind of started a bit later, we had more tests at the beginning. They put some additional measures in place probably before other countries could have because of how late we started. I think everyone was just hoping we wouldn't be impacted as much.
Yeah. I mean, it's very early views for like the fitness industry and even it being shut down, but you've also already, the borders are closed in Australia, correct?
Yeah, so that also happened in the last little while. I think the majority of cases, over 80% of cases, were due to people being overseas. Mm-hmm. And then some states decided to lock down their borders as well because places like Tasmania and South Australia that don't have too many cases wanted to protect
so domestic flights and public transportation are already shut down. Is that correct?
Well, public transport's not, and there are still some flights interstate. Yeah. So I don't actually, to be honest, that was announced over the last, 24 hours, and it's been a bit crazy, so I haven't had a chance to really see what that means.
Because right now it's happening in Dubai, so our public transportation like metro trains and buses are going to be on off operation just to make sure we have that strict preventive measure that it's not going to do an outspread any further.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess like what you said, it started late in Australia, so you've already got the blueprints of what each country is doing. So the better everybody abides by this protocol, the sooner that we get out of this situation, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Like schools are still open here, and it's a bit controversial. I think some places are closing them earlier.
New Zealand just shut down school yesterday, so yeah.
Right.
Are a lot of people pulling their kids out anyway before the government says so, or like?
Yeah, I have heard cases of that. The Prime Minister says that he wants to keep kids in school because around 30% of the workforce in healthcare that they need right now do rely on schools for childcare.
Yeah.
So I do understand that argument because we need all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm. Going back to how does that affect the clubs, or before the clubs closed, with parents probably pulling their children out of school? I imagine everything just dropped and dived straight down. I mean, Australia is a very active nation, and there's so much sport going on there. I mean, has Australia really gone through the same? I mean, I was just looking on the WHO website, and it's talking about there's 1,098 cases in Australia with 7 deaths. Is it happened a little later than you would have thought it would, or like these changes, these shutdowns, the gym's been closed?
Yeah, I mean, I think the decision to close these non-essential services, they call it, so restaurants, bars, and gyms, was because people weren't really respecting the social distancing rules that they tried to put in place.
Yeah.
You would have seen what happened on Bondi Beach and how there were probably thousands of people there, and they unfortunately would have ruined it for everyone else. And they don't want to take the strict strategies that they have in other countries, but I think they're coming to the revelation that they probably will need to do that to control this epidemic.
Totally, because that's kind of one of the bigger talking points as far as we want to get back to fitness, but I mean, the one thing the Chinese keep trying to say is that, look, they applied the rule, they applied the social distancing, they got people to stay at home isolation, and it's worked for them. Like, you know, there's arguments and some people saying about the truth not being told, but I mean, it's...
but people are being stubborn. It happened here, like when our government or our leaders decided to shut down commercial gyms and facilities and recreation, and people started going to the beaches and parks. So obviously the municipality, like in our case here, we've got the CIDs patrolling all over, and then, okay, great. It's like a parent-child relationship. Your parent already told you not to do so, and you still did it, and then that's when they're going to drop the iron fist that, okay, you guys are not listening. You're not helping us, minimize and flat down the curve. You're still doing what we told you not to do. So there's going to be a forced shutdown. So everybody's going to be confined. We don't want to come to a point that they're going to lock us down completely and padlocks our houses. Just so stay in your houses. It's as simple as that. Help us, help you guys. But I think the public needs to hear that.
But yeah, true. With Australia too. With Australia being it is such an active nation. People are outdoors all the time. Yeah. How big of a struggle are you seeing, Miriam, with people like trying to just abide by that? I mean, here we've been told it's okay to go for a run and that, like, outdoors, but stay away from people. I mean, is that a probability or possibility in Australia around where you are?
I think it is. I mean, my partner and I kind of knew this was going to happen, and we're big into hiking. So we went hiking yesterday, and we were lucky if we passed one couple. So there's a lot of nature that you can go to where you're going to be far away from people.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think the difference between Australia, like, I'm from Toronto originally, and I've lived in Brazil before. So spent some time in Malaysia. And compared to those places, there's not the same population density even in the big cities. So in terms of staying further away from people, it's possible.
Trouble. What about
you
cities?
Just need to be smart. Don't go to Bondi.
Don't go to Bondi. That's
where everybody. So they haven't shut down Bondi just yet.
Oh, they have. That was the first thing they did.
That's kind of thing to offer. What about in Australia? What's the big kind of trend at the moment? I mean, I did see the other day F45 has got their home workout. They got all the workouts online now. Les Mills has obviously got their one on demand. They're making available for people as well. What's happening with Australia and the fitness industry?
So the thing is, the clubs really need to ensure that they're able to stay connected and stay active during this time. And that means there's a lot of clubs looking at putting out online solutions, and there's a lot of full trader PTs and group fitness instructors that are trying to do the same.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, when it comes down to it, people that are active will really not cope well with being stuck inside, not having some sort of connection to the outside world or activity. So every business seems to be trying to provide them something. I know the home workout equipment companies have been really pushing their products.
Yep.
And
I saw that.
People are buying it.
Yeah. There are companies that are selling like home gym combos. Like on they say it's a reasonable deal, but it is still expensive. So my partner was supposed to be teaching an RPM class tonight, and he's still at the exact same time they were supposed to teach. He has a little home gym, got on his body bike, and he was coaching like to no one. It was so funny. Anyway, but there's people that really love exercise, and we need to provide them with those options. Adaptability is the key.
One of the things that happens, what's happening over here, is people are renting out their gym equipment to their members and stuff like that. So they're saying, like, they're doing cycling classes here, rent out a bike, take the bike home, and we'll do the classes online. Has that happened in Australia?
Not that I know of, but that's a great idea.
There you go.
There's an idea right there.
Thanks, Chris.
I got lucky that one of my clients owns I'm not going to mention his name, owns a facility, and then he was kind enough that if you need to borrow a few equipment so you can keep yourself afloat and, do home workouts or bring it to your clients. So I think it might go down that route that, hey, hang on a minute, I need to charge you for that just to keep my business afloat as well.
Yeah, well, why not, right? I think the challenge here is they haven't given them a set date for the shutdown. Like, I know Malaysia said 2 weeks, Canada said 2 weeks. So here they said it might take up to 6 months. So everyone's really uneasy, thinking, how am I going to survive this if I can't operate my business for 6 months?
Yeah.
So any sort of income stream is really important to them right now.
Yeah, I guess it's just fair to say. Yeah, of course, everybody. It would mean like if you at least to pay your bills or get your basics covered, like food and electricity and water and all sort of stuff like that. So start being really practical. We mentioned it earlier, like really make an honest effort to, just buy the essentials. Think more than 6 or 10 times that before you grab something, if it's a necessity or not, just to save.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coming in, going back to the fitness side of things, and in a group study, if it does, like when you talk about just saying 6 months, and it could take 6 months. I mean, let's be honest. Is there government support for? We were just talking about here in the UAE. Is there government support for the companies in Australia, or for freelancers in Australia? Or is there anything set up there?
Yeah, so the government has put some measures in place to help keep the economy going as best as possible. So they've released a lot of money, and I don't know the exact amount, so I'm not going to quote it, to release it to small and medium-sized businesses. Mm-hmm. And that would go to gyms. What they've done as well is there's superannuation, which is basically retirement savings that happens no matter what when you work for a company as an employee. Yeah. And they're allowing people to access that tax-free right now up to, I think, $10,000, maybe a bit more. Wow. So they're doing what they can to help people during this time. But the challenge is for a lot of PTs and groups, I unfortunately know that if they've been contracting themselves, they haven't necessarily been putting money aside.
Yeah. They're living week by week, day by day kind of thing.
That's the heartbreaking part. Yeah. Because they think retirement's so far off, but then you don't think about something like this happening because it's never happened in our lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to make a day side of it. And has that been dished out immediately, like those ones out there? I mean, because they're talking out here, like there's some also chatter I've heard about that. Yeah, there's grants available, but if this happens to go on for a longer period of time, you don't want to pay now and then, oops, you have to try and do it again and further. Was it just kind of, you guys just said, or you just mentioned that, looking at 6 months' time that this could take up to. What if it took an extra year?
I don't know how they're going to deal with this if it does go on that long. I really hope when they say 6 months, they don't mean the lockdown is going to happen for 6 months, but maybe the economic impact will be felt for 6 months. And what we have to remember here is, especially in New South Wales, we had drought for 3 years. Then we had these massive bushfires. Then we had floods, and now we have this. So there are so many people that are already doing it incredibly tough, and the government had to spend money to help those people too. And a lot of people donated to help people during those causes, but now there's so many people out there that are wondering what next month's going to look like, let alone 6 months from now.
Yeah, true.
What about?
I don't know if the government will step in again.
Okay, because we've asked a couple of people about that already. Like, yeah, there's a government, there's support, but I think it's as humans, it runs in our DNA that we activate that survival instinct. For you, Miriam, personally, if you don't mind me asking, what's your contingency plan if things go sideways?
That's funny.
Yeah. Do you have a spare tire or,
I thought about that today a lot. I did a nutrition diploma, and I'm really passionate about people's general health.
Yeah.
I did this personalized health course called PH360, which can give people guidance on every aspect of their life so they can be as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
And this week we'll be launching an immune program, which is actually free. So if you're interested, I'll grab your details. I'll send it to you afterwards. I think coaching people through that will help in this circumstance. I think people really need to focus on their health now more than ever. I can't express that enough.
100% agree with you. Yeah.
What's the
That's my fallback.
And that's a good fallback. Did you find that, like, that's pretty a common one we've heard actually? A lot of people trying to take their stuff online and how they can online courses, challenges, workouts, classes, and so forth like that. I mean, it's great. You know, that's what you got to try and do. You got to do what you need to do to keep the ship going. I suppose the other side of it is the take up, obviously, with people are all thinking the same thing. So how many are people willing to spend at the moment still in Australia? Like, are they willing to do certain things, or is it just the mindset of, look, just make a donation, and then as a business, you're looking to take that donation and then look to keep the community coming along until such time as we're out of this?
I think we started noticing people saving more, and this is globally. People started saving more, hearing that there was an impending recession in 2019, right? So I think general spending had slowed down. People were getting a bit more conscious about what they were buying. So when it comes to health and wellness, there's the people that do prioritize that, and I do believe that they will spend on their health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
But there's unfortunately a lot of stories of people like hoarding chocolate and worried about the bottle shops closing. And
that's not the right road to go.
That's what they want to spend their money on.
Yeah.
I heard a restriction that someone was saying that, you know, you're restricted to buy only 2 bags of toilet paper or whatever, but you can buy as much alcohol as you want.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's just compromising your health all the more. I agree with you when people are saying, "Oh, when there are people criticizing that you're being too anal about your health and fitness, it is the time now." Because for me personally, and what I say to my clients, I'd rather invest in that one because it's gonna help me save more, because I don't want to get sick. So if I fortify my immune system, and it's been already shown in a lot of medical studies said that, look, we might be carrying it now, but your immune system will do the rest if you've already invested on it. So it's saving you more money than, you know, buying stuff that you don't need, or like, for example, alcohol and chocolates. That's the last thing your system wants right now.
Absolutely. Like, I invest in vitamins and minerals and probiotics, and I don't regret that even now. Like, I will prioritize that because it'll keep me strong. And when we went to the grocery store, it was funny to see things like biscuits and cookies empty on the shelf, right? But then you'd get brown rice and lentils and beans and all of these healthy things. And oh my goodness, get fresh produce right now.
Food.
No one's buying that.
Absolutely.
I stocked up on cabbage the other day. Okay. Just put the message out. More people need to know, you know?
Yeah, totally.
People, these are the basics, but I think we need to put some sense into to everybody every now and then. I do too. Like, I love the occasional chips and cookies, but being in this situation now, I literally have my internal dialogue that no, that can wait. So the priority now is fruits and vegetables and raw food. You know, because I need to protect my immune system. You know, the last thing that our body needs or want right now. Even if you're convincing yourself, no, I deserve. No, you don't. No, you don't. The last thing your body wants right now is alcohol and more pollutant and stress. You know, you need all.
100%.
You need all the possible protection and contingency plan that you're gonna. You know, that's gonna help you to get through these when we come out of it.
Yeah. And if people don't heed that advice, then as soon as everyone comes out of hibernation, we'll have a lot of work to do.
But then again, that's being practical as well, because it's going to help you save money, like, you know, that you don't get sick, so you don't need to go to the hospital. You don't, especially if you don't have an insurance, that you don't need to buy medications. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the old saying of Socrates, like, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food.
Yeah.
You know? And he figured this out 18 million years ago, you know.
Exactly.
Well, for us.
Like when go ahead.
No, carry on.
Oh, okay. So living in Brazil, I worked with some of the poorer communities, and their staple food is rice, black beans. You might have a bit of meat in the black beans, but sparingly. Some different seasonings, some bay leaves, and then having beans and rice together creates a whole protein, and then they have kale there, which helps with boosting the vitamin content and the mineral content, and then orange because that helps you, the vitamin C, and that helps you absorb the iron, right? So they've created this very affordable, very cheap dish that they can give anybody. And to be honest, it's delicious. We eat it all the time here, right? So there's really a great way that you can save money and feed your body with the right fuel for anyone, really. It was a really easy to access, really easy to store items.
Agree.
Brilliant. Thank you for that.
There you go.
Cam, guys, great advice.
Yeah. I'll send you guys a recipe later.
Excellent. And nutrition, of course. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Miriam, thank you very much for your time. Some great insights there and some good feedback for the audience and people listening. Guys, we'll grab Miriam's link as well if you guys want to. Quickly about the course you're doing, or the initiative you're doing.
The nutrition.
So
side of
that'll
things.
be available on Wednesday. It's not something that I created. It's part of this PH360 international platform, but it's really cool. I was on a call with some doctors the other day, and I think the more that we can get people to start focusing on their immune systems, the better we're all going to be.
100%. Awesome.
That's great, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much again, Miriam. Stay safe over there.
Miriam, appreciate your insights.
Thanks so much.
Stay healthy. Stay
Take care,
clean.
everyone.
Take care.
You too.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sweet.
There you go, guys. A bit of information from Australia about what happens in the fitness industry over there. And we will chuck the link down in the description at the end of the show, this live broadcast as well. We're going to go a bit more local here. We're going to go to Abu Dhabi, and we're going to talk to Liam O'Hagan. I believe is how his name's pronounced. I hope you're listening. I hope you got the name correct. Liam started up a Facebook group, Personal Trainers United, or United Personal Trainers. Sorry, I've got the name a bit wrong. And he's lives in Abu Dhabi. He does a lot of things with Empiric, so he'll also be able to give a lot of good insights and maybe what trainers are doing down in Abu Dhabi at the moment. So hopefully he's online. He's available. Hello, Liam.
Hello.
Hey, mate, you there? Welcome along.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I mean, finding out some interesting things from a couple of people going on and some ideas. I would, I was just saying before we came on here that we'll get a hold of you. I mean, you're in Abu Dhabi. You're doing a lot. You're really proactive on social media as well with a lot of trainers around the region, which is amazing. It'd be good to start off with just kind of a bit of insight, mate, about you and what you're hearing and seeing down in Abu Dhabi compared to Dubai, I suppose.
Yeah, so I think we're a little bit behind. Well, we're a little bit behind Dubai in terms of the gyms. I've only recently got the order to close down. I think that was in the last couple of days. Mm-hmm. Whereas you guys were last week, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think it was.
We were a little bit behind, but we had some gyms. Like I don't know, a couple of friends who run gyms, and they took the decision to close them down anyway. So we are a little bit behind, but generally we're feeling pretty much the same. A lot of people are kind of not wanting to train in person as well. So I know obviously some people are still. Mm-hmm. I've got one or two clients still willing, but with the situation, I'm sure that'll change too.
Yeah.
So,
what about, let's jump straight to you then. Are you looking, have you looked at the online option? Have you looked at some solutions for yourself at the moment?
Yeah. So I've actually been online for a while. Not cool. Fully online, but I've been doing it for a while now.
Oh, nice.
So if the PT is not already online, this might be a good time to do it. Basically, just how to kind of do it and how to get your name out there type style. So obviously with online training, there's multiple different ways that you can do it. You could do, obviously here you've got the challenge of video call, but it's not as, as free. So you can't Skype or anything unless you're using a business Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. So the way I do things, just for people who would be questioning me, is I use Trainerize. I don't know if anyone's heard of that.
Yep, from Canada. Yep.
Yeah. So I use that. So I don't actually train any clients live. It's just I schedule out their programs, set it up for them, and then just coach them in between each kind of time they do a workout. So twice a week I sit down and I'll just message them to see how they're doing, and maybe message them in between as well.
Have you tried the Zoom option?
I haven't. No. I've only tried calling recently with Team Microsoft. I know that works. I don't know. Does Zoom even work here? Because last time I tried to use it, it didn't work.
Not so well. No, especially the free versions has kind of shut down as well. They took off the video, which kind of defeated the purpose. It does work quite well. You have other options to use it, but it's fine. The odd Trainerize. I mean, I've had a lot of questions too about Trainerize. Is it the one to go to? Is it remote apps or remote PT app? Go to webinars, another one, and stuff like that as well. Yeah, because people obviously, like you said, everyone's trying to go online and trying to do that kind of thing. The big thing, I think, question, like just for yourself, like obviously we're a little bit different here because we don't do actually the training side of things, but we've got a full studio setup, right? So when it comes to doing recordings and stuff like that, are you using microphones or anything like that, or?
I am not, mate. I am a pure introvert. I stay behind my computer and I just type away. So,
sort of.
So if anyone does have a kind of issue with doing video calls and stuff, I can kind of give you the anecdotal evidence that you can do it. I do train people, and I never met them, never spoken to them on a video or anything like that. I'm just a stranger behind a keyboard. So there is that option as well if you're a bit of an introvert like me.
But is that quite simple? Like people do try to make it much more complex than what it is, right? People
100%. Like some of the questions I get, and they're thinking like 10 steps ahead when they haven't even thought of step one yet.
Totally.
So like for example, if you're looking for a software, whether it's Zoom versus Trainerize, just pick one and see how it goes, and then go along with it. And if it doesn't work, then just change your course.
Yeah, we've had some real basic ones. I mean, for people that understand that, like just having a closed Facebook closed Facebook group. If they want to keep their things private, things like that, they've invited people along. People are just taking bank or taking cash payments or bank transfers. When it comes to then when they're recording, all they do is use their phone, and like they don't use anything else. They just do a live feed into their group, and that's how they do their training and get people to do comments and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, just right easy.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, so it can be quite.
It's not a problem.
Totally, they don't have to run out there and start buying the latest DSL camera or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the end of the day, people they're not buying the program for the kind of flashy things of how it's, they don't really care about how it's delivered. They just care, can you get them the results? So
exactly,
it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You can, you could just text them the workout, and as long as you get them results, that's all that matters.
Massively. That's actually one of the biggest things I've seen a lot of people trying to get too carried away with how it's delivered, if that makes sense. It's just a simple thing of make sure you send them text messages, send them that's online, that's remote training.
Yeah.
In the day.
Exactly. And especially if it's a temporary thing, why are you so worried about it? Just get them moving. Like all I did was just the second that I found out that all the gyms closed in Dubai, I set up a program for all my clients to stay at home. Just fired it off on Trainerize, which is a bit more flashy than most people need. You could use an Excel if you wanted to, or a Word document, as long as they have it. And then you just have to follow up with them and just say, have you done it? How did it go? Blah, blah, blah. And that's it.
No, that's awesome. That's guys, that's a very good advice. It's some of the best advice I've actually heard. Keep it simple, keep it clean. And because they're like a lot of people, like they're buying you, right? They're not buying the technology. They're buying you, like you said. The results is the whole thing going down those lines.
100%. There are 1,000 better trainers than me, but my clients pay me for me. So.
Exactly. Yeah, those are fantastic. What are some of the things we did see, like in the papers and stuff like that, about the beaches potentially closing, not closed? This is about a week ago, though. What was kind of the response with trainers and stuff like that? Were they doing a lot of training, like out here in Dubai, where they were training on the beaches and stuff? Was that kind of the same thing, I suppose, happened down there?
I would imagine so. I've not had anyone ask me about that specifically, but I would imagine that it's happening. But I think now we're also the same as you guys in Dubai. They probably closed them all. So
yeah,
I don't think it's a good idea to go do that.
To close them.
I did hear they were given fines or something in my Facebook group, I think.
Yes, I've heard there's actually been a couple of things happen, fines and other bits and pieces, which I see, like, at the end of the day, personally myself, I'm going like, well, we're trying to stop the spread. That's what the government's ultimately trying to do. And if people don't heed or listen to what they're trying to put in place to help, then I suppose you've really got to take action from a government point of view, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. So you spend, at the end of the day, we're all pretty healthy, so we're probably, from what I'm seeing from the statistics, one of the least likely to be seriously affected, but we're probably the people that will spread it the most without even realizing. So,
no, totally, 100%. We go back to the training side of things, and when you any discussion about how to, obviously when people are in home isolation and stuff like that, any thoughts, discussions on how to pick up clients or how to maybe gain a different type of a revenue stream?
Yeah. So if you're looking to kind of get online, obviously, once you've moved your own clients onto it, if you're going to do that, the best thing you can do is most trainers have a list of numbers in their phone that they've probably not contacted for months and months, but they've done free consultations or they've just messaged them to ask about their services. Just start messaging them, asking them, just start off with a general conversation. Say, hey, how you doing? I've not spoken to you for a while. What's been going on? And then as the conversation develops, see if you can naturally steer it into their health and fitness. And then you might get a client out of it. And just there's a good thing that you can do is, even if you're not sure of how to deliver it online, just say, look, I'm about to release this new online program. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. So why don't you come on board and I'll give you X amount off. And then that way you can get them in and you don't have to worry about messing up the online training. So
yeah, totally. That's a concern I've heard as well. Massive sure, and that's a great idea to get them in. What about any along the lines and issues of changing the price point of which they're charging at the moment?
Yeah. So for me, I do have a different rate. I'm just going to tell you my personal experience rather than give too specific advice. But like my online training is slightly cheaper. So I normally charge around 275 to 300 dirhams per session, but my online training is like 600 dirham a month. So obviously there's a big drop off if you switch. But I'm just charging them as the online. So if you go from in-person to online, I just charge them the online rate. So obviously right now that means I take quite a hit on my personal income, but that's kind of the way it's going to go. So you have to kind of get a bit more, a bit more clever and creative about how to create new revenues. I did hear about someone say that earlier on in your show. So
about you find that the audience is different, the ones that are face to face and online? My immediate answer is yes, but I mean, are you seeing that? Did you transfer some people from face to face during this time to online? I mean, yeah,
some clients do struggle with it, because obviously, especially the ones that you like one of my clients, she's been training with me for 3 years, twice a week, and she's so used to me turning up and doing her session for her, and she is struggling to do her workouts on her own. But then that's my job to constantly be on the phone to her, messaging her to make sure that she does it. So that's kind of my job to do that. So yeah, there will be a lot of teething problems, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's your job as a trainer to follow up, right, and make sure that they're doing it. Totally.
I think actually I had a conversation the other day about this whole thing with, it's okay, everyone's kind of been forced to go online, but I think, all it's done is just sped up where a lot of people are going to probably get to down the line anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, group fitness and face-to-face is always going to be there, but there's going to be a lot more digital options available, and to the point that I think we're going to have holograms within people's houses, so you can actually, your Skype caller will actually be a hologram, like you see in the movies, so
imagine it.
Well, I can see kind of going forward, technology is always going to advance, and, you might be digitally beside your client while you're doing a training session in their home.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm just picturing someone with my hologram in the room. That's not. I don't like that.
It's scary, mate.
I don't like that. But yeah, you're right. Like, it's going to be online. There's going to be way more online options. Like, I don't know if a good page to follow for anyone is. I don't know if you heard of them. Lift the Bar.
Lift the Bar. Okay, cool.
So they post. I just shared it in the Facebook group before I jumped on here, and basically. Awesome. There was a screenshot of a guy on Zoom taking a fitness group class to an over 70s class, over 70s, like senior home. So if that's happening and people are seeing how easy and accessible it is, there will be a drop off for in-person stuff. Obviously, in-person is never ever going to be replaced, but there will be, I would imagine there should be a change in more people doing online because they can see how easy it is and how accessible it is.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree. Do you think a lot of people they've gone online now are going to stay online?
That's a good question, actually. I have had clients who are trained in person and they traveled a lot, so they would be in between online and in person. Okay. And now they've just stayed online because it's easier for them.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know, maybe you might find it.
Kind of one of those kind of.
But also online can supplement your in person. So if you've got a client who's going to leave, so if let's say you had the best scenario where you've taught a client everything you possibly could, and 6 months to a year down the line they decide to go on their own. You could then throw in, instead of losing all your income on that client, you could throw in the online version and keep some sort of income. So it can supplement your in-person. It doesn't have to be online versus in-person.
Good thoughts. I like that. Everyone's kind of in not this limbo, but there's definitely thought of, because we're all in agreement that, we'll eventually come out of this. And so it's, where do I need to make sure I am when that time happens? You know what I mean? So in these thoughts of, we're all we're going to come out of this eventually, and at some point.
Yeah.
So the thought is, as a professional, whatever you're doing, however you're teaching, where you're going to place yourself, because some people have gone so far down the rabbit hole that they're probably just going to be online training afterwards, or they'll be forced to keep online training. It's definitely but we don't know exactly where we're going to be as far as our business and our business models. I think,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's ideally we. Sorry, mate. As I was saying, ideally we got this idea there's a 2-3 week shutdown where I'm be honest. I mean, I could easily see this happening for the next 6 months. End of the year. That it could end up being like that if people don't go by the protocols. But I mean, hopefully it's more like what happens in China. They've been able to push through the other end since the infection started. Took about 6 months, 5 months to come out the other side, kind of thing. So that's kind of why that kind of thought came from there.
Okay, yeah. That's the thing, you never know. So it's always good to kind of plan around it and have a backup plan, so to speak.
Totally. What are some of the taking it a bit of a different direction? What are some of the things you're coming up with at home? Like we were just talking to Catherine before about any kind of game she's come up with. Gilbert's doing a bit of reading, a bit of learning, a bit of cooking. Is there other things you're taking up yourself, mate?
A lot of eating.
Learning how to not touch my face.
True. That is such a good one.
That is so difficult,
mate. How good? Actually, I don't want to replay this video because I found I've touched my face 1,000 times.
Yeah,
so Gilbert just did it now.
No, in terms of
now that you've said it, I really want to touch my face.
Always the way, mate. Always the way.
You would have thought that at this time of our era we'd be having flying cars, but now we're back to teaching people how to wash their hands or not touch their face, eh?
That's true. That's very true. All these people...
Yeah. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing to not touch your face, or what are you trying to do? Or...
So basically, I've kind of thrown myself into my work, so I'm just kind of going on, focusing on the online side of things. And also I've been... I also work with Empiric, and I've been writing quite a lot of content for them around the coronavirus. So if you want any more info around that, that'll be going up on their social media in the next couple of days.
Yeah, awesome. Just for anyone that's not too sure, that's UAE Personal Trainers Unite. Check it out on there. Some really good content.
Yeah, also there as well. I always post some sorts of things on there, either via my own name or Empiric as well.
Yeah, awesome. Those are some really cool things. What about so touching the face? What's another thing for you, mate?
So I'm kind of a bit of a nerdy. I'm still sticking with the business thing, but I learn a lot about marketing. So I've been reading lots of books left, right, and center. So I'm a bit boring that way.
Sorry, say that one again. Just came through a bit.
Oh, sorry. So I'm a bit boring. I've also just been sticking with mostly business stuff and reading a lot of marketing books and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm thinking the worst of the worst. So I'm just going all work.
Going all on. Have you ever heard of Billy Jean?
I have not, no.
Okay, just
apart from the song.
Yeah, true. He's a marketing guy that's doing a lot of good things. What do you know? Have you noticed any kind of change with marketing as well? Because obviously, look, I mean, people are now talking about how to do things digitally, how to go online. Is there different marketing strategies being put in place, or is there things being released most at this time that's more about marketing yourself online?
Yeah. So, how do I say this simply? Marketing is a complicated subject, but basically to get it right, you just have to do simple things. So a lot of the time, for example, when people are marketing themselves in terms of like social media is a big one with PTs, and they're talking about Instagram and all this type of thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter where you do the marketing. It just matters kind of how you do it.
Yeah.
So it has to come across as value first. Mm-hmm. You have to give something to someone to be able to take in terms of money. Totally. So when it comes to like, when I see like PTs on Instagram, for example, it's always like normally a picture of themselves or then a video of themselves doing a workout. You want to make sure that you can do that, but put some sort of information to it, something that when someone reads your status, they can look at it and go, okay, I can now go do that, and that'll make me better. So you have to give kind of actionable things all the time as well.
Yeah, totally. That's what people do most, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. Like some of the things I see on Instagram is horrific, but it's just because they don't know. So yeah. So, and then they're shouting out for they're asking for DMs and waiting for the empty DMs.
That's the way. Yeah. What is kind of your kind of your thing? You just said you're looking at the worst case scenario. So do you see this going on for much longer, or a lot longer? Do you, or just are you just preparing?
Honestly, I don't know. I do have a personal opinion, and I reckon maybe, a couple of months of full lockdown, and then maybe the China situation where they slowly reintroduce things. Yeah. But my plan is still kind of the same as it was before. I was always going to shift to mostly online.
Okay.
So, in terms of personal aspects, I should hopefully be okay. I don't know if I am, but. So
well, it sounds like you're setting yourself up, mate, pretty well. So that's the one.
Say again?
It sounds like you're setting yourself up pretty well. So that's great. That's awesome. The old
hopefully it works out that way. But yeah, I will say for the trainers as well, I reckon they should, if they're not going to go like the fully online route, they should have a partial income of online as well, just to supplement.
Oh, totally. I think everyone needs their backup for that rainy day, right? Like having the moment.
Yeah, 100%. Like if you put all your eggs into one basket, someone takes the basket away, you're screwed.
Yeah, totally. Well, I want to ask you a question about, we're talking with Catherine from UAE Reps about just the government support side of things. Do you see that as an option as well? And is that something you'd like to see?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're being closed down, right, for a reason. Yeah. So it's obviously, I don't expect to get like a full whack of things, but there should be some support there, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how it would work. I'm not good with the politics side, the financial side of things. So
you and me both,
obviously, yeah. Yeah.
Leave the old numbers to the accountants and the bankers, right?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. I have a calculator on my phone. That's about as mathematical as I get.
The on/off 1 + 2. Actually, I admit I use a calculator. I've only got the old plus, minus, and divide buttons as well. That's all I use on it.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. It took me like 3 years to figure out that the iPhone now has a scientific calculator.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'll
never need it. I'll never need it.
Yeah, no.
Awesome.
I'm not needed that since school.
Yeah, totally. What is do you have any kind of bits of advice or key advice you'd like people to or you'd like to share at the moment, or just a shout out or that sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing I could say is control what you can at this point. Awesome. Like, there's a lot of things that are going on and we've got no control over, like your gyms. If you're a PT in a gym, your gym's been shut down. There's nothing you can do about that. But there are things that you can control. You can still work with your clients in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So whilst this situation is not really our fault, we can control how we react to the situation.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to take a phrase that I saw this morning from Pat Rigsby. He's a big fitness guy for over 40 plus years. And he said success is an inside job. So, and there's always going to be money to be made in this situation. It's just a little bit harder to look for.
Yeah, totally.
So, if you are a PT right now, just follow up with every person you've ever made contact with.
Yeah.
Just there's a good message that you can send to anyone is just send them a quick email saying, hey, is there anything that I can help you with now? And just send that, nothing more. And you'll be very surprised at the responses that you get back from that. I did that yesterday with my email list, and I got 10, 15 replies, I think it was, something like that.
Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah, something so simple like that. And you can get a conversation started straight away. Yeah. You can either help someone or you might end up with a client.
Totally.
But somewhere along the line, if you do those things all the time, you're going to get somewhere.
Yeah, totally. I mean, people don't know what they don't know, right? So until they're introduced to it or until they are made aware of it, then it can't happen.
Yeah, 100%. Like, some of the things that I get asked is unbelievable, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly. Awesome, mate. Brilliant. Thank you so much. You gave some absolute gems of advice for people, so that's fantastic, mate. I really appreciate your time and the advice you've given us today.
No worries, mate. Always happy to help.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to hook up again and get some more words from you as we keep going through this crisis. I mean, we're definitely looking for further things, and things will change daily. So definitely, mate, we'll be in touch again, and thank you again for your input.
No worries, mate. No worries. If anyone needs any help, tell them to just join that Facebook group, and then I'll help them out.
Yep, UAE Personal Trainers Unite. Okay, check that one out.
That's the one.
Awesome. It's a great group, guys, so definitely jump on and be a part of that. Lots of great information posted there by Liam. Thanks, mate. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe,
awesome.
Mate.
No worries. Take care, guys.
See you, mate. See you soon.
Bye.
Guys, lots of information being thrown out over the last nearly 2 hours. So thank you very much for your time and just being able to share, and hopefully you've picked up some ideas from the people we called, from Miriam, from Catherine, from Nathan, Liam. Then, as you see, we'll put in the description down below, we'll chuck down the details So you can reach out to them again, make contact. That's what they were talking about. If any further questions, definitely. But yeah, what we will look to do is we'll continue this, guys. We'll continue to open forum where people can just come on and share. And we really do just want to encourage you to just come on and just share your bits and pieces, your thoughts. It's really hard in times where, you're not the only person out there that's struggling to come up with an idea or a thought, or just there's probably worries in your mind. And, a lot of us are going through exactly the same thing. And so simply by sharing it, I don't want to sound like an AA group or anything like that, but those kind of things there. Definitely jump on and share it. Look on your phones, check it out on there. You'll find different bits and pieces of information. You might find something and you'll jump on here and you'll let us know as well. So definitely cool. But if you any more comments, let us know. If you think you want to particularly talk about, definitely let us know. And we will be chatting with you guys again daily. So daily we're going to do streaming from 11 o'clock, open forums for you to come and join us and just chat about what we can need to do to just in the challenging times. Cheers, Gilbert. Your time?
Oh, yeah.
You carry eating your crackers?
Yeah.
Tasty. Yum.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Stay positive. Yeah, stay healthy. Goodbye.
We've all been there. Hours searching the internet, asking friend upon friend, making call after call, trying to find the right fitness professional, health specialist, or sports coach. So much time, energy, and even money spent only to find more problems than solutions. Well, now, with the Find Fit People platform, you can find all the available professionals with the skills you need in an instant. We've removed all the barriers by establishing a community of many different skilled health specialists, sports coaches, and fitness professionals that are alerted immediately once you've posted your request. In under 30 seconds, you can attract multiple professionals with the right skills to help you achieve the result you want. It's simple, fast, and free. Find us online at www.findfitpeople.com or download the Find Fit People app from Apple or Google Play stores so you can find fit people today.